Hello, English learners, and welcome back to the Native English Podcast, brought to you by Native English Stories. This is your friendly spot for real conversation practice and practical English for your everyday life. I'm Sarah.
And I'm John. I'm honestly very happy to be back in the studio today.
We are really glad you've joined us. John, how are you doing? Has it been a busy day for you?
A little busy, to be honest. I had a lot of screen time this morning and quite a few things to sort through, but it feels really nice to just sit down and chat now.
Same here. I had a long call earlier, but now I'm happy to be here talking with you and all our listeners. It truly feels like we're all just sitting together in the same room having a conversation.
Exactly. Before we dive in, we want to ask you for one tiny favor.
Yes, it's just one small action from you, but it means a huge amount to us. If you enjoy learning with us, please like this episode and subscribe to the podcast. It genuinely helps more learners find our community. All right, let's get into today's topic. Today, we're going to help you with something that feels very important, but sometimes a little scary.
How to talk about yourself in English.
Many learners tell us they can handle basic questions like, where are you from, or what do you do?
But the moment someone says, so, tell me about yourself, the brain just freezes.
Yes, suddenly your mind is either completely empty or overwhelmingly full of too many ideas at once.
So, in this episode, we're going to give you a simple structure and plenty of sentence options that you can actually use.
We'll also share our own full introductions at the end as real-life examples, so you can hear how everything sounds when it all comes together.
Step by step, we'll show you different ways to speak about each part of your life, so you can choose what sounds most natural for you.
First, let's talk about why this skill actually matters. Why is being able to talk about yourself so important?
Because you use it in so many situations. When you meet a new classmate, a new colleague, a neighbor, a teacher, or someone at a language exchange.
And not just in daily life, also in job interviews, language classes, travel situations, social events.
I remember joining a language exchange once. We all sat in a big circle. The organizer said, okay, everyone will introduce themselves. Name, country, job, hobbies.
Oh, wow. I can feel the pressure already. Everyone's sitting there waiting for their turn.
Yes, my turn was coming like a slow train approaching the station. I was repeating in my head, my name is John, I am from England,
And then what happened?
And then when everyone looked at me, my mind went completely blank. I said, my name is John, I like food. Haha.
Ha ha ha. Well, food is always a safe answer. Nobody can argue with that.
True. People laughed in a very friendly way, so it was fine. But inside, I knew I could have said so much more if I had a clear, simple structure ready in my mind.
I understand that feeling completely. Something similar happened to me on a flight once.
Oh, really? Tell me.
I was talking with the man sitting next to me. He asked, so, what do you do? Tell me about yourself. And suddenly in my brain, I had too many pictures at the same time. My job, my hobbies, my family, everything flooding in at once.
All the ideas arriving in one big noisy cloud. Haha.
Exactly. And my answer was not very clear at all. I kept jumping from one thing to another, and I could feel myself getting more tangled.
That happens so often. You have the ideas, but they come out in a jumble.
After the flight, I thought I should have a short, prepared way to talk about myself, something calm and simple that I can reach for when I need it.
That is why we say your self-introduction is like a short personal movie script. When you know your script, you feel calmer and more confident.
And remember, you do not need perfect English. You just need clear, simple sentences that you can say even when you feel a little nervous.
Now, before we build this script, there's something important to understand. There are 3 common situations where you give an introduction.
3 situations: informal, semi-formal, and formal.
Informal is when you're just chatting in a relaxed setting with friends, classmates, someone you meet at a cafe or a party.
Nobody expects a big, serious introduction. You're just talking and laughing and maybe holding a coffee.
Semi-formal is when it's friendly but also slightly professional. A conference, a meetup, a networking event.
People smile and joke a little, but you still want to sound polite.
And formal is when things are very official. A job interview, a meeting with a manager, an office setting.
In those moments, your introduction is still simple, but your words are more careful and considered.
So the idea is feel the situation first, then choose your style.
Yes, if you're sitting on a sofa with a friend, you probably won't say, "Good afternoon, it is a pleasure to meet you." Haha.
That would feel very strange on a sofa.
Yes, and in a job interview, starting with, "Hey, what's up?" is probably not the best first impression. Haha.
Yes, save that for your friends. Listen to the atmosphere, look at the person, and then choose your level.
Let's start with the very first part of any introduction, the greeting.
For formal moments, you can say, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, very clean and safe.
For example, in an interview, you can say, "Good morning, thank you for seeing me today."
For semi-formal situations like meeting new colleagues, you can say, hi there, or just morning as a friendly short version.
And for informal situations with friends or people your age, "Hi," "Hey," or "Hey there."
Some people also say, what's up, or how's it going, but choose something that feels natural for you.
Natural for you, not just something you heard on a social media video. Haha.
Yes.
Yes, if you never say certain greetings in your own language, maybe don't start with them in English.
I tried using a very casual greeting in front of a group of students once. They all looked at me like, are you okay?
The best advice is to pick one greeting you genuinely like and practice saying it until it flows naturally.
Hi, nice to meet you. Simple, friendly, easy to remember.
And when you say it with a real smile, it already feels like a warm introduction. After your greeting, the next step is your name.
Keep it very simple. I'm John, or my name is Sarah.
You can also say, "Nice to meet you, I'm Sarah," or more formally, "Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you, my name is Sarah." How do you usually introduce yourself in real life, Sarah? I usually say, "Hi, I'm Sarah, nice to meet you." Short and easy. I like how friendly it sounds.
In informal places, I say, hey, I'm John. In formal settings, I say, hello, my name is John, nice to meet you.
So our first mini script is, "Hi, I'm Sarah," or "Hello, my name is Sarah, nice to meet you." Just replace Sarah with your own name and you already have a solid start.
Yes, please do not all be called Sarah. Haha.
Now let us add where you are from and where you live, your little life map.
You can start simply. I am from Australia. I am from Mexico. I am from Italy.
If you want to add the city, I am from Sydney in Australia, or I am from Florence in Italy.
Same pattern every time. City plus country.
And sometimes your birthplace and where you live now are different. You can say, I was born in a small town in Ireland, but now I live in London.
Or, I am originally from Portugal, but I live in Berlin now. You can also add time.
I have been living in London for 3 years, or I have been living in Berlin since 2021.
If that feels heavy, keep it light. I am from Portugal. I live in Berlin. That is completely enough.
The important thing is that the other person can picture a little map of your life, not a detailed GPS, just a friendly overview.
Now, people almost always ask, what do you do?
You can answer, I work as an English teacher. I work as a nurse. I work as a software developer.
You can also mention the company or sector. I work for a media company in the marketing department.
Or, I work in education. I work in sales. I work in healthcare. Sometimes you just want to say the field without the specific company name.
And maybe you're studying right now. Then you can say, I am a student. I study engineering. Or I study business at university.
While you listen, think about which sentence is closest to your own life. Later, you can make your own version.
After your job or studies, people often ask about your home and family.
You can answer simply, I live with my parents. I live with my husband and our 2 children. I live with my partner.
If you live alone, I live alone in a small apartment. Or, I live alone in a shared flat.
A flat and an apartment are the same thing, by the way.
And if you live with a friend, I share an apartment with a friend. Or, I live with my flatmate in the city center.
People also love asking about brothers and sisters. You can say, I have 1 brother and 1 sister. I have 2 older brothers. I have 1 younger sister.
And if you are an only child, you say, I am an only child. That means you are the only son or daughter in your family.
For example, I could say, I am from Australia, I live in London with my partner, and I have one younger brother.
And I could say, I am from England, I live in Madrid with a friend from university, and I have one older sister.
Just one or two calm sentences. You do not need to share every detail of your family history in the first 5 minutes.
Yes, just a small friendly picture of who's close to you.
Now, the fun part, hobbies and free time. This part really shows your personality.
You can say, in my free time, I like reading, or in my free time, I enjoy cooking.
Or, when I have some spare time, I go jogging. I'm really into photography. I love playing the guitar.
Another nice phrase is, I'm a big fan of. For example, I'm a big fan of football, or I'm a big fan of documentary films.
You could say something like, in my free time, I like reading and going for walks. I'm also a big fan of cooking new recipes.
When you share a hobby, it gives the other person an easy way to continue the conversation. Oh, what kind of books? Where do you like to walk?
Sometimes you can also add one thing you like and one thing you don't. It makes your introduction feel more real and human.
For example, I love coffee and long weekends, but I don't like waking up very early.
Very relatable. Or, I love good food, but I'm not very good at cooking it myself.
Little details like that show personality, not just facts.
People also love asking, what does a normal day look like for you?
You don't need to describe every hour, just 2 or 3 simple actions that show the rhythm of your day.
A nice start is, on weekdays, I usually, or in the morning, I normally.
For example, on weekdays, I usually wake up at 7:30, have breakfast, and start work by 9.
Or, in the morning, I normally have coffee, check my messages, and then begin my lessons.
And if you want to include English learning, after work, I usually study English for 20 minutes. That actually sounds great in an introduction.
Or, in the evening, I normally have dinner with my family and then watch something.
When you practice later, build your own version. Morning, work, or study, evening. Maybe, on weekdays, I usually wake up at 6:30, go to work, and in the evening, I study English.
Now, sometimes people want to know what kind of person you are, not just what you do, but your personality.
You can use simple adjectives. Friendly, shy, talkative, calm, curious, patient, hardworking, creative.
For example, I'm a friendly and curious person. Or, I'm a bit shy at first, but I become more talkative when I feel comfortable.
You could also say, I'm usually calm, but I get quite excited when I talk about things I care about.
That is very relatable, honestly. And sometimes using other people's words feels easier. You can say, people say I'm patient and hardworking, or my friends say I'm easy to talk to.
Now let's talk about future plans. This usually comes up when someone knows you a little better and asks, what are your plans? Or why are you learning English?
You don't need a perfect life plan. One small, honest idea is completely enough. You can start with, in the future, I would like to, or my goal is to, or one of my dreams is to.
For example, in the future, I would like to travel more and visit different countries. Or, my goal is to speak English more confidently and use it in my work.
Or, one of my dreams is to work internationally. Or, in the future, I would like to start my own small business.
So now you have all the pieces: greetings, name, where you're from, where you live, your job or studies, your family and home, your daily routine, your personality, your hobbies, and your future plans.
Step by step, you can choose just a few of these and build your own mini script, your own short personal movie.
You'll share our full introductions now so you can hear how all these pieces sound when they come together naturally.
I'll go first. My name is Sarah. I'm from Australia, but I live in London now. I work as an English coach and a podcast host. I live with my partner in a small flat, and I have one younger brother back home. In my free time, I love reading, going for long walks, and exploring new coffee shops. On weekdays, I usually start my morning slowly, prepare my lessons, and then work with students in the afternoon. I'm generally a calm and friendly person, and I become quite talkative once I feel comfortable. In the future, my goal is to help even more learners feel confident speaking English and to travel more while working online.
Wow, that gives such a warm and clear picture of your life, Sarah.
Thank you. Your turn.
My name is John. I'm from England, but I live in Madrid. I work as an English teacher and a content creator. I share a flat with a friend from university, and my parents live in a small town in England. In my free time, I enjoy going to the gym, watching football, and cooking simple meals. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7, have my coffee, teach throughout the day, and head to the gym in the evening. I'm quite curious and patient, and people usually say I'm friendly and easy to talk to. In the future, I'd like to create more online courses and maybe live in another country for a year or two.
Now I feel like I know you even better.
Yes, exactly. And that is the whole point of a good self-introduction.
So, what can you do today after listening to this episode? Step 1. Choose one simple sentence for each section: your greeting, name, where you're from, where you live, what you do, and one hobby.
Step 2, say your introduction out loud. Do it in front of a mirror, while you're washing dishes, or while you're out for a walk. Just say the words.
Step 3, check out the pinned comment for today's special challenge. We want you to write your own introduction there. When you write it down, your brain processes the language in a much deeper way. You see the words and really feel the structure.
And maybe another learner will read your comment and feel inspired by your journey too.
Don't worry about being perfect. We just want you to be clear, friendly, and genuine.
If this episode helped you, please like it, subscribe to the Native English podcast, and share it with a friend who also wants to practice their introductions.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You invested this time in your English, and that is definitely something to feel good about.
Keep practicing and talk about yourself with confidence. You have much more to say than you think.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.